High atop the hill stood the grand mansion of Mr. Whiskers, the richest cat in town. Its golden accents gleamed in the sunlight, a beacon of wealth and power. But within those walls, Bella, his elegant daughter, longed for something beyond riches. In her lavish bedroom, Bella sat by the window, gazing out at the world beyond the mansion. Despite the luxury surrounding her, her heart yearned for a simpler, more meaningful life. She thought of Milo, the humble gardener's son. Down in the garden, Milo, a hard-working brown tabby cat, trimmed flowers with care. His modest life stood in stark contrast to Bella's world of wealth, but his heart was full of kindness, and he carried a secret love for Bella. Each night, beneath the moonlit sky, Bella and Milo met secretly by the garden fountain. Their conversations, filled with shared dreams and hopes, made the stars above seem closer. As their bond grew stronger, by the fountain, their eyes met. A silent exchange of feelings. Bella's elegant demeanor softened, while Milo, though shy, found the courage to speak from his heart. In that quiet moment, love blossomed between them. Back in the mansion, Bella attended lavish banquets with her father, surrounded by the finest foods and wealthiest guests. Yet, her thoughts always drifted back to Milo, and she found no joy in the opulence around her. Under the cover of darkness, Bella snuck out of the mansion, her heart racing with excitement. She slipped through the side gate, her only thought being the secret meetings with Milo in the quiet garden. One evening, Milo stood nervously by the fountain, a single flower in his paw. His voice trembled as he confessed his love for Bella, surprised but touched. Bella's heart swelled, though she knew their love faced impossible odds. In the dim light of her room, Bella held the flower Milo had given her. Deep in thought, she loved him, but her father would never allow her to be with someone so humble. She was torn between love and duty. At a grand ball in the mansion, Bella stood among elegantly dressed cats, yet she felt alone. The sparkling chandeliers and flowing gowns meant nothing to her now. Her heart was elsewhere, longing for the simple moments with Milo. Milo worked tirelessly in the garden, his determination clear as he pushed a wheelbarrow full of plants. Though his life was simple, his love for Bella gave him the strength to keep going, hoping one day he'd win her father's approval. Milo's eyes shone with determination as he worked, sweat dripping from his brow. Though the task was hard, the thought of Bella's smile kept him going, pushing him to prove his worth. In his grand office, Mr. Whiskers sat behind a large desk, his whiskers twitching with disapproval. He had heard whispers about his daughter's secret meetings and was determined to put a stop to it. The rich details of Mr. Whiskers' study reflected his immense wealth, with shelves lined with books and priceless antiques. But beneath his proud exterior, he was a father determined to secure the best future for Bella. Tucked away in a secluded corner of the garden, the stone bench by the fountain became a symbol of Bella and Milo's love. Surrounded by fireflies and the soft glow of moonlight, it was the only place they could truly be themselves. One day, Bella stood on a hill, gazing down at Milo's small, humble cottage. She was torn between the life of luxury she had always known and the simple, happy life Milo could offer her. Milo shyly handed Bella a single flower, his love for her reflected in the small but heartfelt gesture. Bella's heart swelled with emotion as she accepted it, knowing that love couldn't be measured in wealth. Bella, dressed in an elegant gown, stood beside Milo in his simple gardener's clothes. The difference between their worlds was clear, yet in each other's company, they felt more alike than ever. That night, Bella sat by her window, gazing up at the stars. In her mind, she imagined a simple life with Milo, far away from the constraints of wealth and status. In her heart, she knew what she truly wanted, but their love could not remain hidden forever. One evening, Mr. Whiskers found them by the fountain. His furious roar echoed through the garden, as Bella and Milo stood side by side, their love now out in the open. Bella's father gets angry and locks Bella in her room. Mr. Whiskers sat in his opulent office, a letter trembling in his paws. The message was clear: his fortune was gone. His once proud expression faded into disbelief, as the reality of his downfall began to sink in. The grand mansion that once sparkled with wealth now stood in disrepair. Broken windows, overgrown gardens, and cracked walls told the story of a family that had lost everything. Dark clouds loomed overhead, reflecting the gloom that had settled over the Whiskers household. In the quiet of his study, Mr. Whiskers gazed out the window, his whiskers drooping with worry. His face, once so proud, was now lined with concern as he contemplated what lay ahead without the fortune that had defined his life. In the humble garden of his small cottage, Milo's father extended a paw to Mr. Whiskers, though the wealthy cat had fallen from grace. Milo's father offered help with kindness and humility. Mr. Whiskers stood frozen, surprised by this unexpected generosity. Sitting beside her father, Bella gently placed her paw on his shoulder. Mr. Whiskers, defeated and sad, leaned into her comfort. The once grand living room now felt small and bare, but in that moment, Bella's love was all that mattered. As the sun set, Bella and Milo walked side by side through a peaceful garden. Bella, now dressed simply, felt at peace. Their journey had been difficult, but walking through the flowers with Milo at her side made everything feel right. Milo's small, humble cottage stood surrounded by wildflowers, its simplicity a far cry from the grand mansion Bella had once called home. Yet, as sunlight streamed through the trees, the cozy little house felt warm and inviting, a true home. Bella, now dressed in a modest but elegant dress, smiled warmly as she stood by Milo's cottage. She had traded her life of luxury for one of simplicity, and with it, she had found a sense of peace and belonging. Alone in the modest house, Mr. Whiskers stood before a mirror, looking at his reflection. His once luxurious clothes were now simple, and his expression was no longer proud, but thoughtful. He had begun to realize that wealth wasn't everything. Inside the cozy cottage, Milo and Bella sat together, laughing and enjoying each other's company. The fire crackled warmly in the fireplace, casting a soft glow over the simple, handmade furniture. Their lives had changed, but their happiness had only grown. In the garden, Mr. Whiskers looked at Milo with newfound respect. No longer did he see him as just a humble gardener's son. Instead, he saw a cat filled with kindness, strength, and a heart worthy of his daughter. Milo worked alongside Mr. Whiskers in the garden, helping him tend to the flowers. Mr. Whiskers, once a proud, wealthy cat, now found solace in simple tasks. Milo's patience and support made the work feel meaningful. Under an arch of flowers, Bella and Milo stood side by side, exchanging vows. The wedding was simple, surrounded by close friends and family, yet it was filled with love and joy. As they held paws, the sun shone brightly over their new beginning. In Milo's garden, the wedding reception was a modest but joyful affair. The soft glow of lanterns hung overhead as Bella and Milo danced, surrounded by their loved ones. The garden was filled with laughter, warmth, and the scent of blooming flowers. At the reception, Mr. Whiskers stood beside Bella and Milo, a proud smile on his face. He had come to understand the true meaning of happiness, and with a warm heart, he gave his blessing to their union. Bella and Milo sat together on the porch of their cottage, watching the sun set over the horizon. As they held paws, the peacefulness of their new life together washed over them. The world felt simple, but full of love. In Milo's family's modest kitchen, Mr. Whiskers shared a meal with them. The simple setting was filled with warmth and laughter, and for the first time in a long while, Mr. Whiskers felt truly content, surrounded by love and acceptance. In the garden, Mr. Whiskers, now dressed in simple clothes, worked alongside Milo, tending to the plants. The sun shone down on them, and Mr. Whiskers smiled, having learned the true value of a simple, fulfilling life. The interior of Milo and Bella's cozy home was filled with handmade furniture and personal touches. As they sat together, surrounded by the warmth of their home, it was clear that their simple life was one filled with happiness and peace. As the sun set over the garden, casting the sky in shades of pink and orange, Bella and Milo stood side by side, holding paws. The peaceful scene reflected the fulfilling life they had built together, a life rich in love, far beyond material wealth. I would love for you to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more fun and interesting videos. Don't miss out on all the exciting content coming your way.